at my face. I've got to make a destination. Whoa, where I belong. This time I got no hesitation. Whoa, moving on.
Where I belong.
Moving on.
The line I've drawn.
Ready, go.
Hey,
all you cool cats and
kittens. This is Destination.
With Alex and Brian.
I'm Brian.
I'm Alex.
This is a fake podcast where we talk about places we want to go.
And food we want to eat.
So, yum, yum.
Yum, yum.
This is my video on how to use a little bit of features of Audacity. It's a recording software for music or podcasts or whatever you want. First, I want to just go through a couple of things that my fiance and I invested in because she is an actor and she's getting into voiceover work with all of the stuff that's going on with COVID. So you can get these for like $100, I think this was, and it comes with just a few kind of essential things if you want to have a more professional sounding recording experience. So it comes with this preamp, a few cables, some headphones, and then Behringer C1 condenser microphone. And then you can get like a few extra things that we still haven't invested in yet, like tripod and pop filter and things like that, just to make your stuff sound better. So now I'm going to walk you through what we did and how. Okay, so now I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of Audacity and do a couple of finishing editing things so you can see kind of how the software works. So this is with all of the WAV files already recorded into our project. If you want, so when you start a new project, it comes up with just one stereo file like this that you see here. There's nothing on it, and to record it's very easy. Once you get all your levels set up and make sure that everything's good to go, then you just press this record button. And then as you need new tracks, you just go to this tracks, add new, and then a stereo or mono track, depending on if you want to mix it in stereo. So as you can see in this, we have 4 tracks, 1 guitar track, 2 vocal tracks, which is this one, and then just our little kind of podcast intro at the end for both of us. So we set the levels on all of them a little bit differently, but that was done on the hardware, which you can figure out. There's some tutorial videos for that. So just to give you like a quick overview of what's going on here. So all of these buttons control play, pause, all those. This button is cut. That will, anything highlighted, it will just cut it. So you can left click on a single track, or you can drag it down and have multiple tracks included for what you want to edit. A couple other things are, if you do highlight something, this button here will trim everything on the outside of that highlighted section. So if you want to get rid of a big chunk of stuff or isolate one portion of your project, you can use that tool. These up here are kind of your main tools. I'm not familiar with all of them because the software is it's not very user-friendly. You've got to do some work to figure out what you're using. The select tool is just how you isolate things. Like I said, highlight different things. And then the zoom tool is the other one that I used a lot. So right now we're zoomed pretty far out. This is the entirety of the track, and it's just a little over a minute long. But the project is to make a little introduction theme song, if you will, to a podcast, and then just see how you could easily transition straight into the podcast. So right now we're at a minute, just a little over a minute 5. As you can see here, where the end of the song happens, which is pretty long for an introduction. So I think I'm going to go through and just play it from the beginning and find a spot where I can cut this first verse, and just get the chorus part, because that's the whole point of the destination song. So that transition into the chorus, I think, is a good spot. So it's right around this mark that I think I'm going to I'll go right from there. And so get my select tool, and then I can isolate everything up to here. Okay, so you can, there is a way to minimize, oh, here we go. So if you do need to make big edits to several tracks at once, you can minimize all the tracks so that they're easier to highlight, and then you can just drag all the way to the point that you want to make the cut. But that's not right, actually, because I need to include the podcast portion. So I'll go all the way to the end, and then we can use our trim outside, and that just gets rid of everything else. And then another cool tool, since we have all of this highlighted right now, is this is the time shift tool. So if you want to adjust where things are within the time, you can just drag, and it makes it a lot more manageable. Okay, so I'll go back to this, open the tracks. A few other things that you can do is manage the gain for each track. So if you need it to be louder or softer within the mix, or if you want to mute and just isolate a certain track, you can press the solo button, mute the track, so you can listen to the mix between different instruments or people's voices or what have you. So now we're at just under 45 seconds for a theme song, which is, I think reasonable. So then if you wanted to convert this into something that you can use in something like Movie Maker or, an MP3, MP4, they don't do MP4 for some reason, I don't know why, but you go to File, Export, and then you can export as an MP3 and save it wherever you need to. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to do was just add a little fade in just at the very beginning, just to give it a little, easy intro into your ears. And that's just going to be for the guitar track. So grab the select tool, start at the beginning, and just give it maybe a 2-second fade. So you highlight that section, and then you come up here to Effect, Fade In. And that is not what I wanted. That is the rest of the track. So here we go. Now it's highlighted. Effect, Fade In, and then it just minimizes it to a gentle fade. And I'll just do the same thing with Alex's vocal track. And you can see there's a bunch of built-in effects that you can use if you don't have other means to produce those effects. But yeah, that's basically it. We've got a little thing that we made, and this software is the same thing that my buddy has a recording studio in Chicago, and when my fiance was thinking of getting into voiceover, he does voiceover reels, so he's kind of coaching her using this software to create something that sounds super professional just from our living room. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, thanks. Have a good one.